What's going on, good people? Today we'll be talking about the installation of this Lithonia lighting LED floodlight. I actually had to run new wires for this particular floodlight and I installed them obviously outdoors. So I'm going to discuss the process for running the wire, actually putting in the light, and give you a glimpse of what they look like. Hey, my name is Kenny Robinson. I'm the owner of Robinson Handy and Technology Services based in Montgomery, Alabama. We do handyman and technology services. And for a list of the full services, please check out the website rhtservices.net. A link will be down in the description below or in the comments. So I did this install of the Lithonia lighting LED floodlight. I do not know if this actually has a model number or not. It is the HGX 2RH ALO 40K120PE DDB. That is a lot to say. So I'm gonna just put it on the camera here for a moment so you can actually see it for yourself in case you want to type this in. I got it from that blue retailer home improvement store. You know which one I'm talking about. And the features of this light, so it actually has a photocell on it, and the purpose of a photocell is so that the light can automatically control itself based upon day or nighttime. And this one has 3 photocell settings. It has a always on, no matter whether it's day or night, like if the switches or the power, if it has power or access to power, or if the switch is turned on, it's going to turn on. There's the second setting where it is more like dusk to dawn. And then there's the third setting, which I have mine set to, which is basically if it is dark outside, turn on. And you adjust that setting. There's a little dial here in the middle, and in the middle of this larger circle, that's the photo sensor. And so you adjust it based upon which of the 3 settings that you want. The specifics of how to do that is in the manual. I'm not going to cover that on video. Also, this dial serves a secondary purpose, which is to control the brightness of the light fixture itself. So it has a low and bright, like a dim and high beam setting, if you will. And the lumens, as you see here, it has 2 lumens, 1,750 for the low and 2,750 for the high. So I set it on the low setting, the 1,750, because I actually have 2 sets of these lights on either side of the driveway. And even with the low setting, I could shoot light across the street over to my neighbor's house. That's just how bright these are. I'm not sure if this lumen setting is per light or if it's for the fixture as a whole, but in either scenario, it is plenty of bright. If you're trying to light up like an entire yard, you could probably set it to the higher setting. But for me, just putting lights to be able to see in the driveway at night, the low setting was sufficient, especially with 2 sets of light fixtures in place. And this particular light fixture is the 4,000 Kelvin, 4,000K, as you see here on the box, which if you're not familiar, so the 5,000 Kelvin is more so like daylight. The 3,000 Kelvin is more so like the incandescent headlight bulbs that has slightly more of an orange to it, whereas the 5,000K is more of a bluish. So this is in between the middle of that. It actually looks more bluish in my opinion than it does the yellowish of the 3,000K. But again, that's just my opinion. So the process I took, I had to actually wire in an extension of an existing circuit. The way my house is set up, I have lighting circuits and I have outlet circuits. And so the lighting circuits, if you flip a breaker, all the lights that are connected on that circuit will shut off. And the reason being, and I'll put this into another video, won't elaborate too much of it, but basically if you plug in something into an outlet, the lighting circuit will still remain on in a given room. And that way you're able to get out of that room. Let's say it's in the middle of the night, the breaker trips for that outlet, you can still find your way out of the room because the lights are still working. So I just tapped on to that existing lighting circuit because after all, these are additional lights. And because they are LED lights, they don't add much load to the existing circuit, so I wasn't worried about it tripping the breakers because of too much load. If I'm not mistaken, per the manual, this actually uses only about 30 to 35 watts, like this fixture. So you put two over there, that's 70 watts. And I don't know if that's for the low setting or the high setting, or just regardless of the setting, is 35 watts. So that's not a lot of power, especially because this says here it is designed to replace a 200 watt fixture, and it is made entirely out of aluminum. So very energy conscious or energy saving. And I'll also show you this third side of the box. Oh, I'm sorry. It actually is 25 watts, not 35. So this is the third side of the box, where it shows you the angles, which is that right there, and the distance that it will show or can reach. And then more information, 4000K, 25 watts, 110 or 120 voltage, etc., etc. So that being said, let's go to the next part of the process, which was to run the wire from the existing circuit, which is actually the lighting circuit that I tapped into is inside of this closet here. This is a mechanical closet where I have my hot water tank. And so that runs over to where the switch is. And I ran a hot wire directly into the switch box, because you're not allowed to do what is known as switch legs as per the current, or I think actually the 2008 electrical code, maybe a little bit further back. You're not allowed to do switch legs. With the rest of my house is actually wired up to do switch legs. So trying to stick with the current times, even though this will be different than the rest of the house, it is to current code. So it's best to do it the right way based on the current practice, instead of trying to follow what was done based upon when the house was built, because sometimes those things do change, and they're changing for good or better reasons. So follow the current times when you're doing your wiring. All right, so let's go over to the switch, and I will walk you through what all was done over there. All right, here we are at this switch box, and as you see, the box is not finished. I put one switch in enough just to get this floodlight in. I have a different light that'll be going in on the other side over here. So for the time being, this box is open, is not, I can stick my hand in here, and it's safe enough to stick my hand in here, but I'm not going to, because I don't want to accidentally touch something that I may have missed. So what we have here is so the wire that was running from the existing circuit comes in where that H is back here in the very back. So that's my incoming hot wire. Some people refer to it as your source. It's sometimes also referred to as a hot. I put an H on it so that I know that that is the hot wire. And so from the hot wire, you have a black, which is this wire here, which is your, the actual truly hot wire. And then you have your white, which is your neutral, that returns the power back. And of course, the bare copper here is the ground. Sometimes your ground wire is green instead of bare copper, but normally when you're using Romex, the ground wire is always bare. And so from this hot wire, it connects over to a wire nut, which is that one right there, and runs over to the switch. And so on this side of the switch, there are two screw terminals. So this wire runs to one of those screw terminals. The other screw terminal then goes out on a different wire that is back here behind the switch to the light fixture on the exterior. And so that way the the switch actually controls the function of the light, whether it be on or off. And then all of my neutrals are connected here in the back together, because again, I will have more than one light switch here. And so all of that will come in here. This blue thing here is known as a junction box. And so you could put two outlets in here. You could put two switches in here. You can do an outlet and a switch. This box is designed to be universal so that you can swap them out. And the switches, as well as the outlets, are also a standard size, so they can also fit in here. The only problem that you may encounter is, depending on the number of wires that you have coming into the box, you may have issues getting the switch or the outlets in there. But a lot of times you just might have to strong arm it and get it in, and it will all fit. You're probably asking what happened over here. Well, originally I cut a hole for this junction box, and I cut the hole, actually come to find out, on a stud. I think the stud is like right about there. And so what I had to do was to replace that existing drywall and then put some mud over it. And this is what you see, that mud there. It is not finished, as you can clearly tell. I will be going over it with a second and possibly third coat to correct that and smooth that out. So just ignore this side of the screen for the time being. All right, so the switch is here. This switch actually has a light in it. So if you, for instance, let's say you come in the room and the room is dark and you're trying to find the light switch and you can't find it, this switch actually illuminates so that you can find it in the dark. Let me demonstrate. All right, so currently the switch is still on, and if I turn the switch off, as you see, it now glows in the dark, if you will. It is not actually glowing, it's actually using the power that is being supplied to the switch and redirecting it so that it illuminates and you're able to find it in the dark. And then once you turn it on again, the circuit for the switch is actually broken. So now the fixture that is attached to, or the outlet that is attached to, is getting power, and thus the light is on the switch, that is turned off. And this is what the light fixture looks like in the dark. It is set on the lowest setting, and it is aimed more so properly as much as I could. It does have a wide angle to it, so you really get like a very, very far off shot of things, but it does work. And so this is one of two floodlights. Honestly, if I really knew that it was going to be this bright once I put them in, I probably would have just bought one instead of two, but I do have two now, so I'm going to use both of them. And so I had already put up the light before showing you the last segment, so I didn't want to take it back down. But basically on the back of the light fixture is a green, white, and black wire. And so those are connected to the wires that come from the switch box, and then go through a junction box that I mounted to the brick, because the wall that I mounted the fixture to is a brick wall. So you have to, some people will mount, and I've seen it before, mount a floodlight directly to a brick wall using the mounting bracket. That is incorrect. You have to have your wires connected in a junction box, regardless of where they are. They must be in a junction box, and the junction box cannot be hidden. That is per the electrical code. So for you customers that are watching your electrical guy or whoever that you get to do some electrical work for you, if you see him putting a junction box and throwing it behind the wall, fire him immediately. That is not the way you do that. All right, so that floodlight is connected to a junction box that's mounted to the brick. The junction box I had to use a hammer drill to drill holes in the brick, and then use tap cons to secure the junction box to the brick. Now, you're probably asking, well, how come I didn't put the junction box in the brick and actually take some of the brick out? That would have been a little bit more complex than what I was willing to do. So for me, it was easier to just mount a junction box to the brick, secure it, and then put the light fixture on top of the junction box. Now, you can actually put a junction box into the brick, but again, that requires cutting out or using a hammer chisel to basically destroy the brick and the mortar that is around it, or some of the mortar, not necessarily all of the mortar around it, and then fitting that box into where that brick was. And depending on the length of the brick, because I believe the bricks that I have are a little bit actually longer than the rectangular junction boxes, you may actually have to go back and add mortars so that the junction box does not move around once you take that brick out. So for me, it was easier just put a junction box on the face of the brick, secure it to that, and then run my wire through, mount the fixture to the junction box, and then that'd be it. No mortar, no mess. All right. And then from there, it's just a matter of setting up the settings on the fixture. As I mentioned, all the controls on the fixture are on the front here. So you have your photo sensor there, as well as the brightness, and then that's it. You just have to make sure that you leave the light switch on, and the light will do everything itself. If I am not mistaken, and I believe I don't see it on the box here, but I believe it did say that this fixture was rated to last about 50,000 hours, which is a fairly long time. I'm not going to do the math for you because that is a lot of math to compute, but roughly 8 to 10 hours per night, 50,000 hours, you're going to get several, maybe 3 to 5 years out of this light fixture before you may have problems. And that's not even guaranteeing, because depending on, like, if you don't have any severe weather or anything damage it, that light fixture actually may last longer than that, 50,000 hour period. Also depends on the weather as well. If you have like a lot of electrical storms in your area, you may have a bigger issue with those lights not lasting as long, because the housing of that is entirely metal. So just keep that in mind. One more thing before I go, I'm going to also show you the hole that I had to cut, at least from the backside, to get that through the brick from the inside of the wall, from the inside of the house to the outside of the house. All right, so from here, as I showed you earlier, there is a junction box with the switch in it. And so from that junction box, the wire runs up the wall and up to this point here, and then it crosses over the stud and then goes to the exterior. Now, the reason that it does it this way is because this is where I wanted to have I placed the light fixture on the outside based upon how it would look from the outside, not so much based upon what it looked like from the inside. And so in doing so, I looked out and missed this joist by a matter of a few inches. I'll raise this camera up here so you can see a little bit. As you see, there's not much clearance between that hole and that joist. And I'm actually going to go back at some point and fill in that hole so that no bugs or anything of that nature can actually come through that hole. But basically, this wire runs across the stud. There's a hole drilled in the stud, as you can see right there. And I put this piece of metal here. This piece of metal is called a nailing flange. So if, let's say in the future, I want to put a shelf in this space and I have this nailing flange here, if I try to screw through this or try to nail through this, this will stop that screw or nail from going through, thus protecting the wire that is behind it. If you don't have one of these and you put a wire or a pipe back there, you risk damaging that pipe in the future. So be sure that if you run wires through a stud, put a nailing flange on it. It'll save you in the long run. It'll save future homeowners in the long run as well if they were to do that. But essentially, this wire comes from the switch, then goes through a hole, and then outside. It does not necessarily need to have this loop, but it was easier to get, because of how this comes in, it was easier to run this and then loop it back around and then through the stud instead of trying to go from here that way and then down. And so that is how I did that. Also in that same opening, which is a little bit more difficult to see because some of the drywall is there, there are the additional wires. So the hot wire from the existing circuit, as well as the additional switch wire and the other switch wire that is there, all run through that same cavity on the right hand side, and then they run up into the attic and then out to wherever they need to go. So the ones on the exterior, again, since there's two of those, one runs through what I just showed you through the stud and then out. The other runs up into the attic, across, then back down in a similar manner to that, and then outside. You're probably going to ask also, why was that wire not secured into the stud bay? And the reason being, it is secured by going through that stud, but to actually secure it all the way down the length of that stud will require taking off all the drywall, and that is not necessarily required. A lot of people will probably frown upon that, and if you want to frown in the comments. Don't dislike, just frown in the comments and share your opinion on it. But when you're running wiring and the drywall is already in place, you don't have to take as much effort to secure it as you do if it is a brand new installation. Like, I've cut other holes in other people's houses in the walls or looked at the wiring, and the wires are just, the electrical wires, not low voltage wires, electrical wires are just free floating wherever they want to. They're not secured in any manner. I'm assuming that's because the electrical code at some point didn't necessarily say you had to secure the wires, but I'm not 100% sure. So like I say, in that case, because there's already drywall in place, you don't necessarily have to tear out the drywall to secure this wiring to the stud. But if you were to, let's say this was a renovation and you were to remove the drywall as part of that renovation, then at that point you would have to secure the wiring to the stud or whatever other structure because of the fact it's fully open and it is part of a renovation. If you have any questions or comments, drop those down below. I'll be glad to get back to you with any answers or that I can answer. And if not, I'll give you a reference to wherever you can find the answer. Also, if you want more information, you can hit me up, rhtservices.net. We're also on Facebook and YouTube and Instagram now. So all those links will be available either in the description or a pinned comment. Until next time, peace out.